Welcome, everybody. Welcome to teachrai.me. Today, in this section, we will be studying about Dracunculus medinensis. Okay, about the type study Dracunculus medinensis. It belongs to the phylum Nematoda. We all know the phylum Nematoda, or it is also called as Nematihelminthes. Okay, it is next to Platyhelminthes. Okay, let's study the type study Dracunculus medinensis. First of all, we will be having a look over the image of this Dracunculus medinensis. Okay, so generally it has two types. It is of we can see a male, a female, and a male. Male has tapering ends. Okay, the male worm, it is having tapering ends. Tapering means sharp. Okay, it is having sharp ends, whereas female does not have the tapering ends. Yeah, though it have tapering end, but not as much deeper as males. Okay, so the nematodes, these parasitic nematodes, that I mean these Dracunculus medinensis, which is also a nematode, it infects the human beings. It not only infects human beings, but it also infects other vertebrates and plants. Okay, so they are pathogenic and worldwide in distribution. Pathogenic means they are harmful, they carry pathogens. Pathogens means disease causing organism. What if someone asks you pathogenic? Pathogenic means they are disease causing, they causes disease. Whatever the disease may be, they causes the disease. Among several of such species, Dracunculus medinensis is a pathogen causing dracunculosis in the man. If anyone who is caught by this worm, Dracunculus medinensis, he will get the disease dracunculosis. This worm causes this disease. Okay. So besides man, it can also infect dog, horse, cow, leopard, monkey, etc. These all are vertebrates and are mammals. Okay, you know what is the meaning of mammals? They feed their baby with their milk. Okay, so Dracunculus is a long thread like parasite. As we have seen, it is a long thread like parasite, is it not? So it is commonly called as guinea worm. Just a minute. Okay, it is commonly called as guinea worm or thread worm. As it looks like thread, it looks like thread, that's why it is called as thread worm. History reveals that the fact that the parasite used to infect approximately 10 million people per year. In the previous days, these parasite used to affect 10 million people per year. Okay, we can see most of the cases in the village areas, in the contaminated zone. So let me tell you that these parasites come into our body through contaminated water. Contaminated water. So if you are drinking contaminated, be aware of this parasite. Okay, so let's see the larval stage of this parasite. The larval stage of this parasite looks something like this. So you can have a screenshot of this. Okay, let's begin. So the life cycle of this Dracunculus, you can also have the screenshot of this, as all the information is within this. Okay, let's proceed forward. So life cycle, human becomes, first of all, let's see, let's tell that this is a contaminated water. It is having all the larvae of Dracunculus medinensis. Okay, now the human becomes infected by drinking this water. It is unfiltered water. It contains cupods, small crustaceans, which are infected by larvae of Dracunculus medinensis. So these cupods, they eat this larva. They eat the larva of Dracunculus medinensis. Okay, so these are also small crustaceans. So these crustaceans will eat the larva of Dracunculus medinensis. Okay, so these copepods will reach the stomach. As we drink the water, these copepods will reach the stomach and they will penetrate the wall, stomach wall, and they will reach the intestine or abdominal cavity. Okay, so what I mean to say is the larva of the Dracunculus medinensis. This larva is eaten by a crustacean. Okay, so this entire crustacean has eaten the larva. Okay, because these crustaceans are generally bigger than the larva. Okay, hence they can eat this. So these copepods or crustaceans die in the stomach. As the stomach secretes HCl, these copepods will die there itself. But the larva which they have eaten will not die. It is more resistant and it will penetrate the stomach also. Okay, so when the larva becomes mature, okay, and after becoming mature it becomes adult, or when it becomes mature they copulate among themselves, that is they reproduce among themselves. Assume this is a male and this is a female worm. They will reproduce among themselves and forms small larvae. Okay, they forms many larval forms. Okay, and soon after the copulation the male worms die and the female worm will migrate into the subcutaneous layer of the skin. What is meant by subcutaneous layer? Assume if this is your hand and this is the top layer of the hand. This is called as the cutaneous layer, and just below this layer is the subcutaneous layer. Okay, so these female worms will migrate to the subcutaneous layer, okay, of the skin, and after 1 year there is no symptom till 1 year. Okay, so after approximately 1 year of infection these blisters are seen on the skin. You know how blisters look like? Suppose this is to be a skin and there are some holes, minute, not minute, they may be of enough large visible size. Blisters will be formed. So when the human reaches the water and when the human goes near the water, the female worm emerges out causing discomfort to human and also releases the larva which were produced after copulation. Whatever the worm is there inside the skin, it will come out of this blister, okay, into the surrounding water. Okay, from the skin it will come out from this blister. Blister is nothing but hole. Okay, so when the human reaches the water, the female worms and along with the larva will be discharged into the water. Okay, so the blister is somewhat like this. Okay, somewhat like this, and this is the worm. This white color one is the worm. Okay, and this worm is being removed out. Okay, let's see how it is removed out in the further slides. So damage to the host. How, what does the parasite feeds on when it is inside our body? It feeds on our tissues, it feeds on our cells. Okay, and heavy infections in the area of joints like elbow joint, it can cause, if there are heavy infections, means if the worm is residing, if the worm is staying in these joints, it will cause arthritis. Okay, and hence it might be a medical emergency, and it might immediately, we should immediately remove all the worms. Okay, and the symptoms are like chills and fever, local pain. If they accumulate in the joints, it will cause pains and discomfort also. Okay, and it also causes swelling and blistering of the skin. As we know that blister is somewhat hole like from which the worm comes out of the skin. And management and prophylaxis, there is no drug for this worm. Okay, to treat this worm, there is no drug, there is no medicine to cure this disease. Okay, we can just prevent it. Okay, but we can't cure it. So chemical treatment of water, whatever the contaminated water is there, we must treat it chemically. Okay, by purifying it, by using filter, by using double filtration method, by using, if the people are there in the village side, they are preferred to be used as the double cloth method. Okay, so whatever it is, we have to use, we there is no drug for this first of all, so we have to prevent it by using filtration methods. Okay, so how the if you see the worm coming out of the skin, how it should be removed, because it is not too easy to remove the worm. Okay, the worm is removed by traditional method. In the villages it is removed by traditional methods, and in the hospitals it is removed by surgery or something, or like operations. Okay, so the traditional method, the worm is removed by manually. So whenever the infected persons having the blister will reach near the water, the parasite will emerge out. Okay, so as the parasite will emerge out, the end of the parasite, suppose this is the blister and this is the skin, this parasite is emerged out, and this end is tied to a stick. Okay, this end is tied to the stick, and the worm is pulled, and the worm is pulled out. Okay, it is done slowly so as no pain is caused. See, in this method, this is the stick, this is the stick, and this is the worm. The white color one is the worm, and this is a blister. You know, blister is just like the pointer I am showing you on the screen, right? So this is the blister, and from the blister the white color worm is coming out. Okay, so this was all about. So once we'll have a recall, have you taken the screenshot of this? If not, please take this, and we'll learn here only overall concept. So the human drinks the contaminated water first. Okay, human drinks the contaminated water. So the copods, that means these are the crustaceans, they are the crustacean. The copods will be eating this larva, the larva of Dracunculus. Okay, so as the larva is small, this crustacean will be eating the larva, and as we eat that, as we drink this water, the water reaches the stomach. The water reaches the stomach, and the copods will die in the stomach itself. But the larva, this larva will not die in the stomach because they are too resistant. Okay, and they will enter the abdominal cavity. In the abdominal cavity, the male worm and the female worm will reproduce to form the larva. Okay, to form the larva. And whenever the human goes in the water zone, some of the larva will be discharged out, and if there are any more larva is left inside the body, they will cause blisters. Okay, that is holes and everything, they cause blisters. Okay, again this cycle goes on continuing. Okay, so thank you for watching this, hope you like this video, and please share, subscribe, and never forget to leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.